Aim to always enrich other people's lives, not just your own pocketbook. Pass on that wisdom and knowledge that I learned along that process to the newbie entrepreneurs. And then number 4 was make $10,000 a month. Hey there. Now, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm sharing what I've learned after a whole year of trying to navigate the entrepreneurial waters. Now, trust me, it's actually been crazy. And if you've ever thought about entrepreneurship, and thought that it was going to be a walk in the park, definitely think again, because it was not. So I'm going to get into some of the skill sets that you need in order to actually be successful. However, first, I want to talk about some mindsets that you need to have for success. So when I first came into business as an entrepreneur, I sat down in a meeting with some very seasoned, experienced entrepreneurs, and I was asked this question: what is the biggest check that you could just imagine giving away? And now this was so important because it really shifted my entire view on money and really the association I have with it. And I started to be able to just instantly see money as a tool that brings much more good to others and really allows me to dream big. It motivates me to reach higher heights. And so I think it's very important for you to start to just change some of the association that you might have with money. A lot of people look at money as something that's evil. I'm here to help give money and give value and change lives and impact others. That's why we become entrepreneurs in the first place, because we have value to provide. A second mindset shift that you must have is the fact that you need to set very clear goals. It's vital. For me, it kind of looked like this. I need to make my very first paycheck. That's a given when it comes to entrepreneurship. I wanted to actually turn and make my profit. Obviously, going into entrepreneurship can be very expensive depending on the industry that you go into. For me, it was very inexpensive. So my second goal was to be profitable, which happened very soon. My next goal was actually, how do I get paid every week? And then number 4 was make $10,000 a month, every month, right? And the 5th thing, and I think this is very important, and it's just to pass on that wisdom and knowledge that I learned along that process to the newbie entrepreneurs. I believe if you make your goals crystal clear and you aim to teach then what you learn and the process of making those goals happen, that is going to actually have you become a pro in the game of entrepreneurship. Being on the grind, it should mean that you lose empathy. Now, Nicholas Bosley, he's a fantastic business leader of mine. He told me that you must genuinely love and care for others. Aim to always enrich other people's lives, not just your own pocketbook. I think that's so very important in entrepreneurship because we are here to provide value to other people. You make your income based on the amount of value that you provide. And so provide genuine care and value to people. One thing I love is that there's so many entrepreneurs and business owners out there who read a lot. It can be very challenging. I didn't read for the first 6 months being an entrepreneur, and I really regret that. There's something that I've learned. A lot of us, we kind of read aimlessly. We just get books, read it, and that's about it. Maybe we'll take a few notes, but you want to find a book so compelling and enlightening that it becomes your Bible book or your business Bible, a book that you're going to be able to revisit over and over. You're going to be able to link other people directly to it. You're going to be able to quote it very much like a Bible would as well. It is your guideline to success, right? Trust me, revisit it over and over. You're going to thank me later on that one. Now, the last mindset that you need to have is to compete regardless of whatever. If your business doesn't naturally inherently have a competition aspect to it, then you have to force yourself to compete with yourself, right? Now, whether business is relaxed or fierce and pumped up, you must make it a point to compete within yourself. Everybody loves beating their personal best. Create your goals, create minimum standards, and consistently work to improve it. If last week you worked with 2 different people, this week work with 3. Last month you read 4 books, read 5 this month. Consistently compete with yourself regardless of any excuse that you have. So here's where I want to give you essential skill sets for success. And I've got 5 of them. You want to learn how to listen like a Jedi, honestly, right? Folks, they're going to spill their dreams and their pain points all the time, especially when you're really listening. Say those dreams and pain points back to them. It'll in their mind allow them to hear what they just told you, right? Build trust with that person. Also understand that the person who listens the most is the one who has most control in that case, and The one who talks the most is the one who's happiest after you leave. Master calendaring. I cannot tell you how many people in business and who become entrepreneurs who don't understand how to prioritize their time. Time is probably your most valuable currency outside of money. So you have to think about it the same way. Budget your time wisely. Block off important time slots for family, meals, even scrolling on the internet and Netflix. It'll allow you to partake in doing exactly what you want. As an entrepreneur, one of the most valuable pieces that we have is the fact that we create our own schedule, meaning that we block off our own time. Use that, block it off, just like you would with money. If you want to spend every penny towards something that's going to improve your life financially, spend every time that's going to improve your life professionally. One thing that I noticed is that many of us, we spend time developing. Hardcore development requires massive amounts of time in one sitting. Reading for 30 minutes is great. Doing a little bit of prayer and meditation is fantastic. Hardcore development requires a chunk of time. So one thing that I recommend is maybe you can't do it once a week, but maybe twice. You need about 8 hours of development. That's reading, that's watching video trainings, that's going on to YouTube and listening to different podcasts and watching how to do things. Maybe just setting up a calendar in a really good way, or learning much more about your industry that you're in. It's very important to develop yourself very deeply. Maybe you can't do 8 hours on one day, but at least do 2 days of 4 hours. You need a large chunk of focused time, completely undistracted when it comes to developing deeply, and plan that time within your schedule. You must practice. I cannot say enough how many people don't practice their craft. Practice not just, outside by yourself. Practice with people that you care about. Practice with people that you're comfortable with. The person who gets the most practice is the one who's going to be the most successful. There's something I like to say, and it's called being an outlier. Outliers are the ones who have success. These are people who have gone above and beyond what they actually need to. If an outlier, they worked harder than everyone else. If they practiced 532 times, they are the outlier. Anybody who does practice between 0 and 532 times, they're not an outlier. Outliers are the successful ones. So figure out what that is and do more. And now my fifth step is very important, and I actually have a process to help you learn how to become an implementer. But you need and you must be an implementer. You need to start by having that very first step. This is an industry of imposter syndrome. Being an entrepreneur, you feel imposter syndrome consistently. Am I able to do this? Who am I to actually help people out? Who am I? I understand that a lot of people, they don't feel like they should have the platform, the position, the time that they do. And they might self-sabotage because of imposter syndrome. Just take that first step. Throw aside that imposter syndrome. Trust me, just do whatever it is you'll learn by doing. So this is what I want to give you, the 6 stages of new. Kind of broken it down before, but I'm going to give it to you in a slightly different way. The stage 1 is beginner. This is where you're learning all the essentials. You're trying different things out, and then you have step 2, your breakthrough. And this is where practice is going to make that progress. Perfect practice makes perfection. And so this is where you're going to actually start to see some result of whatever that new skill is that you're learning. After that breakthrough, you're going to come across stage 3, and that is your wall. And the wall, it hits hard. You're going to really feel that flop. But understand that it's not failure. It's simply growth. You must hit that wall because what you were doing when you learned was only the base beginner level skills that you needed. Now you must develop a whole new set of skills and much more in-depth and advanced stuff to be able to break down that wall again. So that way you never have another wall. Brings us to stage 4, which is consolidation. This is where you start to tweak those strategies that you kind of learn. You figure out how to overcome different objections and get around different walls that might come up, different obstacles. Where you start to identify that stuff early on, which brings you to stage 5, which is mastery. Right? This is where you hit that perfect stride. You're able to rule, you're able to run, you're doing everything perfectly fine. You're able to close business, you're able to help people out, you're able to change your life. And then stage 6, and this is that plateau. Now, this is something where a lot of people panic. I need you to understand that this is only a sign that you must learn something else. In mastery, you learn everything you need to learn for that skill. There's no more learning to improve. It's only practice and continue consistently doing it. So how do you know that you hit that plateau? Because you'll continue to get results. your results just won't improve. This means you must start this stage over again. The only way to continue to grow after that plateau is to learn a new skill. It's the only way to start being a beginner of something else and then wrapping around that entire beautiful process. That process is a process for a reason. You must do that process. And trying to skip any piece of that process might potentially get you into complete ruin. This is something that I had to learn the hard way because I wanted to skip straight to mastery. And not being patient, once I hit that wall, I tried to start something new. I never finished this other skill. So all of these skills and mindsets that I'm sharing with you, take all 10 of these and start with them at beginner. See where you are in that process. You might be able to juggle 3 or 4 different skills and being at different pieces of that process. Don't feel like you have to quit your 9-to-5 job like right away. I didn't do that. Trust me, you want to test the waters first with entrepreneurship. Now, a good side hustle can actually help you. Plus, a side hustle can really grow into something big. It did with mine. I appreciate you guys for hanging out today, learning. Remember, subscribe if you want more of this real talk about entrepreneurship. But until next time, guys, stay awesome, stay courageous, and I look forward to seeing all of you guys' growth. Let me know in the comment section down below what was the most helpful for you guys. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.